fucking venue is. I don't care if it's Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, or Teletype. If there's somebody there, I'm going to be where they are. Guys, Bay, Nerd Chuck is in the building. What's up, man?
Life is good, man. Thanks for having me. You know how pumped I am I'm doing the show.
My man Taz Daddy!
Yes, sir. I can make millions for other people. I can make millions for
Year in, year out, he not a rookie. He a man of many hats and different skills. Give him any struggle in business and watch he make it build. Hard to believe, and please check the resume. Best-selling author and showcase on Ebony. 2-time Southern Entertainment Award winner.
And here we are. Both of us lonely. We've got tonight. Who needs tomorrow? Listen, I got these facts, babe. Why don't you say? What up, man? Who did your intro? My company did my intro, big homie. You might want to get yourself acquainted. What up, y'all? Yours truly, Dave Anderson, the Mohawk and Real Talk and Living Fully Business Bully out here doing what I do, snapping necks, cashing checks. Woo! My God. Oh. Black people, can we just have a conversation? What up, Felicia? What up, Charlie? What up, nephew? Yo, man, we'll make it happen, man. I'll hook you up with my people. But we need to have a conversation about this Breonna Taylor situation. Like, and it goes beyond Breonna Taylor. This goes all the way back to Amadou Diallo, so you can go anywhere you want to. We can go George Floyd, we can go Trayvon Martin. We can go anywhere we want to. But we're going to have this conversation, and some of y'all ain't going to like it. And quite frankly, I personally don't give a fuck. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired of telling you darkies the same thing over and over again. I don't know, somebody says, oh, well, Dave, you just refer to us as darkies. You shouldn't talk in that language. You know what? You shouldn't be talking in this language. Oz forgives them, folks killing my brother. Oz okay with what's happening. Oz can't wait till November because we's gonna march over to the ballot box and we's gonna make sure that Uncle Joe and Master Kamala is gonna give us the help. Like, that's not what's gonna happen. Yo, okay, all right, come here, baby. Come on. Hey, dog, come on. This is the part about being a daddy. Say hi. So you done bought my whole. Yes, I got you. This is what it means to be a daddy. Your lips ain't that big. You ain't got them damn suit coolers like your daddy. You got more than enough, chunky chunk. Look at that. You don't need all that. Now that's a lot. You gonna go and get out my office now? You could get out my office. Close the door. Thank you. Close the door. Yeah. So listen. Close my door. So let me talk to you. Y'all keep thinking that marching going to work. Y'all keep thinking that voting is going to work, and it's not going to fucking work. Here's how I know, right? Back in the days, they used to say, can we get justice today? And they told us, no niggas, no way, no how, not today. We used to say, do you mind if we guess got equal time? And they told us, no niggas, no way, no how, not today. So now they walk into our crib. I mean, where we sleep and live, and they shoot us. No niggas, no way, no how, not today. I'm trying to tell y'all straight up and down. You can be as innocent as you want to be. You can sell cigarettes. You can stand on the corner. You can scratch your dick. They will find a way to kill you. And you want to know why? Because they don't fear you. You want to know why they don't fear you? They create the system that you're stuck on. They create the system that creates the Stockholm syndrome inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to let y'all understand that you keep looking for justice for people who don't respect you. That's like looking for love from a prostitute. That's like looking for respect from someone who's pimping you. No. Y'all are getting the pimping business messed up. See, you're whores. And you won't come to the realization that you're whores because y'all don't want to hear that you have some culpability in what's happening. Because the second Trayvon Martin got killed, for tea and snacks, for a goddamn tea and some fucking Skittles. And George Zimmerman lived? They said, okay, cool. Yeah, we could just do this all day. Like Rodney King was a drunk. Okay, cool. Amadou Diallo, immigrant. Okay, cool. But guess what? Trayvon was a 17-year-old kid who really didn't do anything. Oh, but wait. Because Master Joe was in the White House then. Master Joe was in the White House with Barack. And what did Barack give y'all? Well, could have been my son. You got daughters, Barack. He could have been your son. That's all you got? No sweeping legislation? Nothing in place to take care of the people that you claim are yours? No? You know what else we got? You know what else we got? Nothing. I have yet to hear from Master Joe. I have yet to hear from Kamala, not Kamala. Kamala's a Ugandan giant. Kamala ain't said shit. And they're not going to. And they'll say whatever they fuck they want to say. But at the end of the day, I would have everybody brought up on charges. Simply because how do you issue a warrant for somebody who's already in the fucking jail? That's point one. Point two, I have spoken to drug dealers, I've spoken to gangsters, I've spoken to pimps, I've spoken to kingpins. I do not have a criminal record. Never been arrested for nothing domestic. I'm an American citizen. And if I'm able to speak to a drug dealer, a pimp, a thief, or whomever, apparently you're not doing your job, because if they're all of these things, then why haven't you locked them the fuck up yet? But in this case, Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend was safe and sound in the jail, like the Joker was in The Dark Knight, just sitting there. Who'd you leave her with? Who signed that no-knock warrant, if there was a no-knock warrant? How is it one dude had a body cam, but we ain't seen no footage? Was the body cam even on? We don't ask any questions. You know what we do? Oh, well, you know, we riot. And we march and we sing and we have candlelight vigils singing the old Negro spiritual songs and going to the drinking gourd, and Ezekiel saw the wheel, and this little light of mine, I's gonna let it shine, and we ain't got far to go, and hold on to what we got, you know, and keep your eyes on the prize. I'm sick of your Negro spiritual catchphrases. I am sick of y'all talking about don't boo, vote. I am sick of y'all acting like the only thing that people respect in this country is something other than the loss of revenue or the loss of blood. Now, I'm not saying go out here and kill people. That's not what I'm on. What I am on is black people being proactive as to what happens. And then every single time, just like Charlie Brown would talk to Lucy, and Lucy would say, hey, Charlie Brown, I'm going to hold this football. You kick the shit out of it. And Charlie Brown like, no, every time you go and you hold that football, you yank it away, and I'll wind up on my back, hurt up, looking up at the sky. And Lucy says, no, not this time, Charlie Brown. I'm going to hold the football here. And then guess what happens? These white folks, they hold the football, and we hope that we're going to kick it, and they bring out Mumbling Ben Crump. And I know Mumbling Ben Crump is a defense attorney. He's also a settlement dude. And you know, with settlements, there's always usually some caveats with that money. But he comes in and he gets the settlement. He gets his 33 and a third, and then he's off chasing the next ambulance, a.k.a. black hashtag victim. And we still don't have any justice. But when I try to tell you, Spear Chuck and Jigaboos, very simple things like go and get a weapons permit, go and get a gun. If every black person who was able and legally allowed to own a gun, one, went and registered with the state, two, went into a gun range and started shooting and practicing, three, joined or put in an application to join the National Rifle Association. And I know that kind of sounds crazy. Why would you want to join the NRA, Dave? Well, if you start joining the NRA and you start doing it in numbers, and when I say this, y'all got to stay with me, because some of y'all are going to start talking dumb shit. But if y'all started doing that, guess what would happen? Oh, it'd be gun reform to fucking morrow. But let me tell you something about how America works, right? When y'all start talking all this shit, when one of us gets killed, talking about, oh, we need gun control. Do you think they're going to run up in white people's houses and take their guns? No, dumb Negro, they're going to take your fucking gun. Oh, but most of y'all, nonviolent. Y'all running around here with the late John Lewis on your lips talking about, I was going to get into some good trouble. Getting arrested and getting into some good trouble ain't never bought you no fucking relief. It never has. And then you get mad at me because I'm sitting up here doing shit. I'm sitting up here helping to build black businesses. I'm sitting up here advocating for black women. And I'm not saying that so y'all pat me on the back. I'm telling you what the fuck change looks like. Because if you've got a single mom who has a great idea and she's building a business and she's able to make 6 or 7 figures, then guess what? She ain't dependent upon the government now, is she? Then you send your kids off to fucking college. And don't get me wrong, I sent my kid off to college. You want to know why? That's what she wanted to do. I told her why I didn't want her to go. She still wanted to go. Cool, no problem. Because I have sense enough to realize that just because it's not my vision doesn't mean I should rob my kids from theirs. But you send your kids off to college as if they're going to get a job just over broke. But you send your kid to college 16, 17, 18 years old, right? Then they start getting credit cards in exchange for free fucking t-shirts. Then they come out with all these fucking student loans, but they can't get that same amount of loan money to start a business. You can go get a car, you can go get an education, but you can't start a business in a country where you're supposed to be starting businesses. Tammy says, I don't understand how you ask killers to stop killing peacefully. It makes no sense. No, you know how you stop killing people? You start going Old Testament God on folks. Eye for an eye. Because I'm telling you, the day anybody comes, and God forbid, the day anybody comes for my daughters, I'm coming through real hard body. I promise you, you're going to see a fat Rambo on your screen. It's going to be on and popping. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all can sit up here and say, oh, well, Dave, it's not all about the money. Yes, the fuck it is. Do you think Joe Biden wants to be president because he cares about people? Do you think Donald Trump wants to be president or is president because he cares about people? No, it's about money. When you start crippling the economy in Minnesota, when y'all stop getting them goddamn command strips from 3M, you know, when you start looking at all of this, go see my man Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown, if you look at Jeff Brown on Facebook or on Draft Balls on YouTube, you can check him out on Business Bully TV. He has a list of all of the businesses, right, that are in Minnesota. And we start financially crippling those businesses, it's a different type of ballgame. But y'all know what y'all want to do? Y'all want to hug. Y'all want to kiss. Y'all want to work it out. No. It's an eye for eye. We digging in them pockets. Y'all don't understand that. And then when somebody says, yeah, let's get some economic power going, y'all like, yeah, okay, cool. But just like Snoop Dogg said in 92, everybody got their cups, but they ain't chipped in. When I said I was starting a political action committee, y'all looked at me like I was crazy. How crazy am I now? Trump already told you he ain't going to respect the election type of situation. He's not going to respect the votes because I don't trust the mail ballot. I don't know what the dumb shit Donald Trump is saying, but he's saying some dumb shit. Right? And I'm trying to get y'all to understand that you are so busy hoping that they're going to give you reparations. When in this country have white people ever copped to fucking us over? And I mean really copped to fucking us over. Like, when has that happened? How about fucking never? Yeah, they gave Breonna Taylor's family some money. And they said, oh, we're going to do some reforms. How is it that y'all need reform? Right? Because why don't you just use the same protocols you use when white people are shooting at you, officers? Why don't you use those same protocols when white people are having mental breakdowns? There's none of this shit. Let Becky Rabinowitz get shot up in her house. Oh, it's going to be sweeping reforms. The Fed's going to come in. You will see so many blue and yellow jackets everywhere. You ain't going to know what to goddamn do. But you're expecting respect from people who don't respect your humanity. How does that fucking work? Can you tell me how that works? Can you legitimately tell me how you expect to be respected from people who don't understand that your life is extremely important? They don't give a fuck. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. Y'all ain't going to like this one either. I believe wholeheartedly that Black Lives Matter. I don't believe in the organization. Because the organization has basically said, we want to get rid of the patriarchy, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if you know this or not, but since 1968, Black people have primarily been a matriarchy. So what are you saying? You the only good straight black man is a dead one? Yeah, I'm not really understanding. And if you think I'm lying, look at the agenda on the Black Lives Matter website. Just go look at it. But y'all continue to think that it's going to help, and it's fucking not. It's never going to fucking help. And when somebody tries to tell you that it's never going to fucking help, it's going to be it's going to be a cold day in hell. A black cop accidentally shot a white woman in Minnesota and is doing 12 years. I didn't hear a word from Blue Lives Matter. Nope, not one word. Because Blue Lives Matter is code for white people don't want to be challenged by Negroes. Everybody turns around. Y'all are happy. Like y'all do realize that a lot of this shit is hustling you. Like, okay, Oprah bought some billboards. Whoopity fucking do. Where you been for the past 30 years? Like, at some point, you got to start looking at what you're doing and how that works and what it means when you're not putting forth an agenda and when you're not getting people to figure out what's fucking next. And then y'all keep having these fake fucking coalitions like we're all the same. Let me tell you something about minorities. Do you know the number one minority in America? You know what the fuck it is? The number one minority in America is white women. White women. Like, hold on. See, Eleni Campbell says, I need to look more into Black Lives Matter. Oh, okay. Let me help you out because I know people don't believe water's wet. So I'm going to go help. I'm going to help y'all out real quick. So here's what we're going to do in real time. We're going to slide this down over here. And Uncle Dave is going to share his screen. We're going to have a screen share. Hold on, somebody said something. The problem I have with Black Lives Matter is the only time it matters is when the white man kills us, but doesn't matter when we're killing each other. Okay, Sharon, let me stop you there for a second because I need y'all to understand something, right? I got a cousin living in Osaka, Japan. When I went to Osaka, Japan, and I watched the news, they never said Jap on Jap crime, right? When I went to Frankfurt, Germany, you know what I'm saying? They never said Franc on Franc crime. I'm sorry. When I went to France, they didn't say Franc on Franc crime. They didn't say German on German crime. There's no white on white crime. When somebody in Chinatown kills somebody else in Chinatown, it's no Chinese on Chinese crime. Black on black crime is a term created by white supremacy, or what I like to call white fragility, to make you feel like it's our fault. Everybody everywhere kills each other. Lions kill lions. Dogs kill dogs. Fish kill fish. So if you're in the same proximity with other people, guess what the fuck happens? Some of those people are going to get killed. Now, when you look at it, since we want to run stats, I don't know if you know this, but over the last 20 years, what white folks determine as black on black crime is actually down, and white on white crime is actually up. On top of that, they love to say, oh, well, more white people get killed by cops than black people. Yeah, well, they're the majority of the people in the country. But if you go, and all things being equal, black people are disproportionately killed at 4 times the rate if the numbers were actually even. That's just simple math. But, people like to fudge numbers and be creative. I didn't call you a Karen. So, we do have the same uproar for our own, but there's a certain level of expectation when it comes to that. Also, you have to look at the conditioning. See, here's what you're not understanding. Go back and Google the term Iran-Contra affair. Go Google Freeway Ricky Ross. Go Google Ollie North. And then look at the fact that they would take boxes of weapons and put them in alleys and situations. They would close down supermarkets and black-owned stores, right? And then they would flood the neighborhood with drugs when people didn't have any planes or anything like that. So if you put people inside of a box and you remove all the resources and you put them in a situation where they're scared, they're hungry, they're tired, they're fed up, you don't let them have access to capital, they don't have access to jobs, they don't have access to training, then guess what happens? They begin to turn on each other. If you think I'm lying, go look at a book called Lord of the Flies and get back to me. What should uproar look like to meet your approval? Great question. I have no fucking idea, but I'm not entertaining that any further. Tobias says, remember, we keep saying black men don't protect black women. Brianna's boyfriend shot at those cops who broke in their home. Her ex refused to falsely implicate her as a drug kingpin. He chose to serve out his sentence rather than lie on that black woman. Black men do respect and protect black women. See, but the thing of it is, y'all don't want to hear that, because the second white people on the media tell you that black men ain't here for black women, y'all buy into that. But then every time you turn on the TV, it's some white man hooked up with some black woman. And I'm not saying you can't love who you love, but please stop acting like we don't care about black women, because that's some bullshit. But let me go ahead and let's run the Black Lives Matter. Let's go over to Black Lives Matter, because we're going to do this right now. We're going to do this in real time. And I'm not going there. Let's go to about Black Lives Matter. We're doing this in real time. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let's find because I know it's here. Let's get it popping, because I know, unless they just changed it, and I don't think that they have. Her story. I don't know. I'm gonna find this shit because it was just fucking here. Okay, yep. I'm gonna change the shit. Okay, Mike Brown. Yeah, they definitely just changed it, because there was a whole thing about busting up the patriarchy, and we want leadership that isn't hetero and bop. It might be here, because I think, let's see here, 2019. Yeah, no, they definitely took it down and revamped it, But what's pissing me off is you can't divorce the fruit of a thing from the root of a thing. Well, y'all comments is hot bothered. Paul says Black Lives Matter is supposed to speak out. Is not supposed to speak on every issue, like the NAACP doesn't speak out on every issue. I don't give a fuck about the NAACP either, because the NAACP didn't have a black president until I was born. It was started by Jewish people, which tells me that there's a different type of an agenda. And the fact that it's still called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People isn't troublesome to a lot of y'all is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Sharon's still going. Example, 5-year-old baby was killed up the block from me because a black man running from the police hit his gun in an apartment complex, and the baby gets shot by his brother the next day with that same gun. It was no uproar for that kind of behavior. Did anybody in your neighborhood find that dude and handle business? The answer is no. Because just like with white folks, when they come into your neighborhoods and kill y'all ain't got no smoke. Just like with these gangsters, who won't go after the people who kill us, but got time to go after us. Y'all don't want no smoke. Like, I get what your point is, but at the end of the day, I think there are bigger things there. Michelle said, no, bro, they cleaned it up a week or so ago. Yep. You have to research and do the screenshots on the side before. I don't have time, but y'all know what the fuck it is. Sharon says, it's not about my approval. Forget it. It seems like when you talk about black on black crime, there is no such thing as black on black crime. It's just fucking crime. Black on black crime is down. Somebody got shot down the street from you. Cool. Somebody's going to get hit by a car. Every 15 seconds, a baby is going to be born. But the one thing that keeps happening and does not get checked is the fact that people who are privileged, who used us to build this country while they sat on their wraparound porches drinking sweet sugar time lemonade and mint julep, are continuously putting their foots on our neck. I said foots, not feet. Foots on our neck. And killing us en masse, and then having a system to cover it up. See, when black people get killed by other black people, they're not kicking it in your fucking neighborhood. They're usually arrested or killed. So let's not fucking act like there's no justice when a black person kills another black person. If I were to go into the next room and shoot up my fucking family right now, the cops would take me away to jail. That does not happen when white people shoot white people. So if there's a difference between black on black crime and white on black crime, that's fucking it. Now, statistically, you show me how many black people get away with killing black people in this country, and we can have a conversation once you cross-reference those numbers to the numbers of the black people who get killed by white people and get the fuck off. Have you lost your goddamn mind? Like, what fucking planet do you live on? Do you live in America? Are you actually black, or is that just some goddamn type of some type of stock photography you got from umbrellastock.com. I don't know. Who else is brainwashed Negroes? Was the dude arrested? Yeah, that's my question. Like, fuck all the dumb shit. I'm with the shits today. You know, we ain't got time. No, black folks don't like facts. Jaquel, they can't stand facts. Nobody wants to hear 85% of whites are killed by whites. Just like there's a lot of black women out here who don't want to hear that 85% of married black men are married to black women. 92% of married black women are married to black men. But y'all don't want to hear that shit. .0000073 is the percentage of blacks that are killed by other black people. Well, damn. They never say white on white crime. It's just crime. And then you ever notice when the criminal does something, he's mentally ill. When the criminal does something, he's taken into custody peacefully. When the criminal does something, not only is he taken into custody peacefully, but he's given Burger King. Not only that, but white people get on code and they start with their GoFundMes. And they start with their money, and you know what the fuck they do? They make sure that there's plenty of money on that man's commissary. They make sure they got the bail money ready. They make sure they got the legal stuff ready. What do? We couldn't even get Khalif Browder out of fucking Rikers for $400 fucking. So miss me with the fucking bullshit. When a school shooter shoots up the school, they don't call it student on student crime. You know what they call it? A troubled, quiet, sheltered, mentally ill young person. I am sick and fucking tired of you guys taking the subject and moving the fucking goalpost. And that's the problem, because that's what white people do. They move the goalpost. And when I say white people, I'm speaking generally. I'm not saying all white people do this shit. No, he wasn't. They still haven't found him. I bet you they fucking will, though. Now, name me 10 other people you know who have gotten killed in your neighborhood who the killer wasn't arrested. Because if there's a disproportionate problem when we just got all these black people out here on the lam running from these cops, the fuck out of here. Sound backwards. The FBI data report also shows white males commit the most violent crimes. Most black males are in prison for nonviolent drug offenses, like the ones Kamala Harris was sending them to prison for. Okay, cool. But typically serve longer prison sentences than violent white male offenders. Yeah, those are called facts. We did not last time. This is why we're in a situation. Trump has not even addressed Breonna. Obama would have. Obama would have gave a statement. He would not have come with an indictment. You had a goddamn attorney general named Eric Holder. Did I see him bring up any charges? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all are so moved by statements. The fuck is a statement going to do? O.J. Simpson could give a statement. Is that going to change any fucking thing? What the fuck does a statement do? Like, this is why y'all backwards, because y'all get caught up in gestures. Y'all get caught up in emotions. You don't get caught up in your finances. That's why your credit is fucked. That's why you're driving a fucking Lexus and you're living in a goddamn apartment. That's why motherfuckers go unchecked. You treat attorneys and accountants like luxuries and accessories instead of priorities. Most of you don't even have life insurance. You have lost your fucking minds. And most of you same damn morons will be the same motherfuckers who will stand in line for that fucking vaccine where they keep asking black people to come get tested and come be a part of this fucking study. You fall for whatever they put on the goddamn news as if the goddamn news ain't a show itself. 2,000 people murdered out of a population of 41 million. Stop acting like it's epidemic. Exactly. And that's what people don't understand. But I just don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm living in fucking crazy town. I'm from New York City and new to Georgia and had never heard of any crime in my neighborhood but that one. I ask you please not get disrespectful to me because I'm here to listen to your knowledge, not get insulted. How did I insult you? How did I insult you? I'm asking what world you live in. I didn't call you out of your name. I asked you if that was really you, because what you're doing, whether you realize it or not, are white supremacist talking points. So I'm allowed to question because I don't know you. I've never seen you, Sharon, and I don't know Sharon from a hole in my ass. And if you're being, if you're being an MC, sharing rounds with Karen, and you're talking like a Karen right now. Because the first thing out of your mouth is black on black crime, which is a white person construct. Then you're saying in my neighborhood, somebody got shot because somebody left a gun in the apartment and so on and blah, blah, skippity bop. And I'm like, okay, but even still, black people 9 times out of 10 get caught, tried, found guilty, and imprisoned. They don't have a problem with the black prison population. It continues to go up. White people, though, continue to get off for more violent crimes. Oh, yeah, no, he sure enough does say that. And he's right. Symbolism, yeah, y'all want some. Oh, well, Obama would have made a statement. And so, therefore, what? What did you get from Obama other than statements? What did you get? You know what I want? I don't want statements. I want what Elvis Presley's last single said. A little less conversation, a little more action. All y'all do is yip, yip, yap. You don't put up any money. You don't say, you know what, Raheem, you're going to go to law school and you're going to be an attorney because our people need attorneys. And even if they commit crimes, you need to be out here like Johnny Cochran. Y'all have to re-educate yourselves and stop being programmed by false information on the media. War on drugs dogma. How is it a war on drugs, right? You're making my point. How is it a war on drugs when, I don't know if you know this or not, but who benefits from a war when America has one? The government, the government. Like, there used to be a time in this country where we had what was called the gold standard, which meant that you could take a dollar bill and you can go to Fort Knox or any financial fort and get the value of that dollar in gold. It's legal tender. It's a note in exchange for that amount of money in gold. That's what that is. But now we don't have a gold standard. That's why all of our money is in God we trust. That's why they continue to just fucking print money, regardless of how much gold we have in a situation. That's why when you watch black catered television shows, you will see things where they start talking about things like, oh, I buy your gold, hip hop, I buy your gold, right? Then you turn on CNBC and they're like, yo, get all the gold you can, get as much gold you can, get gold bullion, get gold coins, get gold chains, get all the gold you possibly can, and put it in a safe. You don't really do that. There's no action. And if you think Joe Biden is going to build back better, whatever the fuck that means, you're out your goddamn mind. Have y'all even looked? Here we go. Let's do that. Let's go over to JoeBiden.com. We're going to go to JoeBiden.com. Oh, no, we going to take this trip. Oh, we're going to take a trip over to JoeBiden.com because I want y'all to see, because I know y'all going to say I'm being a hater because y'all love your masses so goddamn much. Oh, first thing that pops up. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's give me fucking money. I'm so shocked. We need money. Together we will beat Donald Trump. So if you beat Donald Trump on day fucking one, then what? Then what are you going to do? Because you didn't do shit for 47 fucking years. And the only thing you did was lock up people, including single fucking moms, on non-violent drug offenses. Oh, y'all can giggle all the fuck you want. Oh my fucking God. Look at this dumb shit. So let's go. Because I want to go to let's see if we can find it, because I'm looking for his thing for Black America. Okay, let's see here, because I'm pretty sure Build Back Better. What the fuck does that even mean? Racial equity, Biden agenda for women. I'm looking for the Black agenda. I know it's here somewhere. Lift every voice. The Biden plan for Black America. Oh no, you gonna get this work. Don't run off now. Let's go through this shit. No, because what happens is folks want to gloss over this shit. No, we're going all the way to fucking. Nope, we're going all the way to fucking in real time. So I want y'all to see me do this in real time, and I'm going to read this shit out fucking loud. Joe Biden knows that African Americans can never have a fair shot at the American dream so long as it's entrenched disparities. Look, here, give me more money. Here's a fucking pop-up. Get the fuck off my screen. He's running for president to rebuild our economy in a way that brings everyone along. Oh, there's that rising tide lifts all boats bullshit, right? Let's keep going. The mission is more important now than ever before as the health and economic impacts of COVID-19 have shined a light and cruelly exacerbated the disparities long faced by African Americans. In April 2020, Biden called on the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to collect more data regarding how COVID-19 is affecting communities, including breaking down its impact by race. The data we've seen so far, first of all, you do realize that Joe Biden is now a private citizen, right? Like, he's not the vice president. So he can call on whoever the fuck you want to, just like you fucking could. That means fucking nothing. Contributing to the disparity, including the fact that African Americans are more likely to be uninsured, live in communities where exposed to high levels of air pollution. Oh, okay. African Americans also represent a high percentage of frontline workers, putting themselves in greater risk of the economy. COVID-19. 90% of African American owned businesses are estimated to be shut out of the initial REAP program due to pre-existing systemic disparities in lending. Nothing Joe Biden could do about any of that. Blah, 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 blah. Financial cushion to fall back on the hard times. He's been calling for nations relief. Listen, just because I call you don't mean that you're going to answer. I can call Halle Berry right now, and it doesn't mean that she's going to pick up the goddamn phone. President Trump has not heeded his warnings. Why would he? You ain't no motherfucking body. If Biden were president today, he would make it a top priority. Okay, real quick. So when black people were suffering in Flint while Vice President Biden was in the White House, did they get clean water? Other than that bottled water they gave to Obama in that glass that he did twice? Because I don't remember him getting clean fucking water. I don't remember him doing that for the people of Flint, because those people are black, right? So as a U.S. Senator, he co-sponsored the Civil Rights Act of 1990 and wrote the crime bill for 1994. Fuck out of here. Oh, and here's my personal favorite. Wait for it, because we're going to the highlight reel. To protect against employment discrimination and led multiple reauthorizations of the Voting Rights Act, protecting African Americans' right to vote. How is it a right if you have to continue to vote on it? Do you understand? This is why you can't get nowhere. Today, we need a comprehensive agenda for African Americans with ambition that matches the scale of the challenge, with recognition of the race-neutral policies that are not sufficient response to race-based disparities. The Biden plan for Black America will advance the economic mobility of African Americans and close the racial and wealth and income gaps. That's not a plan. That's a fucking sentence. Expand access to high-quality education and tackle racial inequity in our education system. So there are over 300,000 people in America, according to the last census, with a Master's of Business Administration who are bartenders. So high-quality education means what? That's still a bunch of nothing burgers. Make far-reaching investments in ending health disparities by race. How? You couldn't even get the public option done when you had the fucking Affordable Care Act. So, excuse me, mister, it's a big fucking deal. You couldn't even get the public option done for black people, let alone any other person in America who was without insurance. Strengthen America's commitment to justice. How, Sway? I'm not seeing any tangibles. I'm seeing talk. But let's keep going. Make the right to vote and the right to equal protection real for African Americans. He didn't say permanent. He said real. So is it fake now? Or is it fake if he doesn't get in? When is the right to vote real for African Americans? And if it's not, because remember he said he voted to make sure we had multiple reauthorize and extend the Fair Housing Acts and multiple reauthorizations of the Voting Rights Act. Keep in mind, this is joebiden.com/Black America. You can read along if you like. So strengthen America's commitment to justice, whatever the fuck that means, because if the cops were created to help white people secure their property and kill Negroes, aren't they just doing their job? Because that's how they work. There's nothing about police in the Constitution. Read it for yourself. Make the right to vote and the right to equal protection real for African Americans. Means fucking nothing. Address environmental justice. Oh, so you're gonna let our powers combine. You're gonna call Captain fucking Planet? Do you think Captain fucking Planet is the most important thing to me right the fuck now? What the fuck is this? Can somebody help me the fuck out? I'm waiting. I don't see nobody telling me anything. What's going on? I don't understand. Oh, it's a trick bag. Okay, well no. We're gonna keep fucking going. Because here we go. Advance the economic mobility of African Americans and close the race and wealth income gaps. Approximately 4% of small business owners are African American. Even though African Americans make up approximately 13% of the population. To build wealth in African American communities, we must invest in the success of African American businesses and entrepreneurs. Keep watching. African American businesses often lack the capital they need to succeed. African American businesses are rejected at a rate nearly 20% higher than the white-owned firms. Even worse, African American businesses that do get funding receive only 40% of the funds requested, as compared to 70% for white businesses. To increase investment and access to capital, Biden will double the funding for the state Small Business Credit Initiative. The Obama-Biden administration created the SSBCI to support small businesses, driving $10 billion in new lending for each $1 billion in SSBCI funds. Biden will extend that program to 2025 and double the federal funding to $3 billion, driving close to $30 billion of private sector investments to small businesses, all told, especially those owned by women and people of color. Did you catch it? Because he just said the Obama-Biden administration created this thing, and this thing that they created was designed to put money into the hands of African Americans. But the stats are right there. It says 4% of all businesses in this country are African American, even though we make up 13% of the population. He did nothing to address the disparities, but he said we're going to put more money into it, and then the money is going to go to women and minorities. I would love to know. When we come with the bag, I'm sure we could get what we're asking for. Yeah, I hear that, Xavier, and I think you're right. Unfortunately, Biden is in the back pocket of the pharmaceutical industries and a bunch of other lobbies. So the bag is going to have to be significant, which is why I created Bully Pack. But we're going to keep going, expand the new markets tax credit, make the program permanent, and double the community development financial institutions. So new markets tax credit help draw tens of billions of dollars in new capital to low-income communities, providing tax credits. Low-income communities. I need y'all to understand that Black people are not all low income. And that low-income communities is very, very varied. Because there's Jewish low-income communities, there are Mexican low-income communities, there are Puerto Rican and Dominican low-income communities. Do you see how that works, right? So we're going to continue here. As part of his plan to reinvest in communities across the country, including in rural areas. So how many rural areas do you know that are low income? Okay, great. Biden will also double funding for the Community Development Financial Institutions Fund, which supports local mission-driven financial institutions in low-income areas around the U.S. This builds on Biden's proposal to support entrepreneurs in small towns and rural areas, both the Rural Micro Entrepreneur Assistance Program and the number of rural business investment companies to help rural businesses attract capital. Rural businesses, does that sound like Black-owned businesses to you? Does rural sound like Black-owned businesses to you? I'm waiting for y'all to tell me how. I'm reading this shit in real time, joebiden.com/Black America. Improve and expand the SBA programs that most effectively support African-American owned businesses. SBA programs have been and remain one of the most effective ways of accessing capital for African-American owned businesses. Biden will strengthen these existing programs by ensuring the SBA has funding it needs to support African-American owned businesses and others in current crisis and beyond. Okay, so let me stop you there. Before we start talking about the SBA, let's talk about the fucking facts. Okay, in order to get an SBA loan, you have to have credit of 560 or better. Most Black people do not have credit of 560 or better, but I don't see any government program that Joe Biden has proposed in order to get us to fix our credit, teach us about credit building, anything about building business credit first, and then coming to the SBA loan with earmarks, regardless of that, even if they have to put up some type of guarantees and subsidies like they do for everybody fucking else. But continue to tell me how that's going to be revolutionary. All right. So Trump did this massive 25% cut in the SBA budget. Okay, but that wasn't for Black people. That was the SBA, Small Business Administration. 35% cut in funding to small business development centers, 20% cut to the SBA microloan program, and significantly increased in fees for the 7A loan program, which is the main loan program for small businesses, not Black small businesses, small businesses, making permanent, successful community advantage plan created by the Biden administration, was enacted by Trump. So Trump did this, and Trump did that, but and by the way, fuck Trump, in case you were wondering. Increase opportunities for African-American owned businesses to obtain and participate in federal contracts. Okay, now let's look at this. This one might be good. In the aftermath of the 2008-2009 financial crisis, well over $100 billion in federal prime and contracting dollars were awarded to minority-owned small businesses. Minority-owned. Again, number one minority in this country, white women. And between 2013 and 2016, the Obama-Biden administration increased their federal prime contract dollars to small disadvantaged businesses. Small disadvantaged businesses are not Black businesses. Specificity is important, not only in comedy, not only in acting, but in actual practice when it comes to finances. Read what it says. Nearly 30% from 30.6 billion to 39.1 billion. Obama-Biden created an interagency task force. Oh, fucking God, with your task forces on federal contracting opportunities for small businesses. Small businesses. See how we're still in JoeBiden.com/Black America, but we ain't talking about JoeBiden.com/Black America. Now we're talking about small businesses, which included a focus on contracting opportunities for, wait for it, minority-owned businesses. Minorities, number one minority in the country, white women. The Obama and Biden administration implemented its vision for more equity access to federal contracts through a variety of channels, including by launching including by launching the Federal Procurement Center as part of its Commerce Department's Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA. The FPC, first of its kind program, helps minority-owned firms apply for and win federal government contracts. As president, Biden will build on these efforts to support the expansion of opportunities for minority small-owned businesses. Now, I just want to take a quick break, and I want to talk to you about the fact that Kamala said she's not going to do anything specific for Black people. No! So now that we know that, can y'all see what the fuck I'm talking about? Please tell me how any of this specifically and exclusively helps Black people. That's just all the fuck I want to know. MBDA plays a critical role in development of minority-owned businesses. See how we're getting further? The further down you go, because they know niggas don't read, the further down you go, the less they talk about Black people, right? As well, and the Trump administration's push for 75% cut in the MBDA's budget. Yeah, because it's not fucking doing anything for Black people any fucking way. Biden would protect and call for increased funding for it. Notice he did not say that there would be training, there would be a fast track to be registered as a Black and minority-owned business so that you can get a certain level of government contracts and bid on them. He didn't say any training or development for that entire process. Do you know there's an entire process to be a registered, official, government-recognized, minority, Black-owned business? Did you know that? Did you know that if you're a woman and you are Black, meaning if you're a Black woman, you are a double minority? That means that you get double the opportunities to go after those government contracts. Notice how none of that shit's in there. You will never get freedom from a government that chooses to oppress you, just like you'll never get freedom from an education system designed and developed by a government to make you a slave. But let's continue. Oh no, we're going through tip to tail on this bitch, because this is what I'm talking about. And if you don't share this video, that's on you. But you can't say I didn't fucking do it. We're talking strictly business up in here. Fuck the emotions, fuck the marching, fuck the voting. Let's talk brass tacks. So now we're down here. Protect small and disadvantaged businesses from federal and state contract bundling, which often locks out African-American owned smaller firms from effectively bidding on procurement contracts. Biden will build on the anti-bundling provisions of the Small Business Jobs Act of 2010 by having the Office of Management and Budget, SBA, and MBDA conduct a government-wide review of existing contract bundling to determine whether agencies are following existing rules and whether agencies have the ability to further ensure small business participation in federal, state, and procurement opportunities. In other words, they're going to investigate as to whether or not they're fucking up Black people by not giving them access to the contracts that they should be able to bid on, when the majority of contracts never go to Black people. So they need to investigate whether or not that's true, when statistically it's obviously true. If he's saying that 4% of all the businesses in America are Black owned and there's 13% of us in the fucking population and we don't have access to the fucking capital, so why do you need to do a fucking investigation? Do you not feel a runaround in here? Is there not a fucking runaround in here? I beg you, tell me I'm wrong. Is there not a fucking runaround in here? Do you not feel the goddamn okie doke? Oh, you don't? Let's continue. Oh, no. We're going to do this today. Nope. We're going to continue to go. We're going to continue to go. All right. So, yeah, whether and following existing rules. Yeah. Has the government ever, police are not supposed to kill you for a routine traffic stop. Are they following those existing rules? Well, let's stay on point. Let's stay on point. Make sure economic relief, because COVID-19 reaches the African-American businesses that need it most. The first installment of the PPP largely left out minority-owned businesses. I literally only, and keep in mind, I do business on 5 continents, but in America, I do a shit ton of business, and I only know 2 Black-owned businesses that got any of that PPP money. And it's not because the rest of those people didn't do the paperwork right. It's because the fucking bullshit fixes in. The Center for Responsible Lending estimates that more than 90% of small businesses owned by, wait for it, here comes the trick bag, people of color, what the fuck is that, will not receive loans. The program is not taking into account the specific challenges that African-American businesses face in accessing funding and complying with the program's requirement. The financial institutions best positioned to help African-American small businesses don't have the systems to quickly deploy the funding in a first-come, first-served basis. So if the financial institutions are best equipped to best position to help African Americans don't have the systems to quickly deploy the funding on a first come first served basis, how in the fuck are they best equipped to deploy the fucking funds in the first fucking place? The second phase of the set aside is $60 billion for community banks and CDFIs, as well as mid-sized banks, which can better serve smaller businesses and minority-owned firms. But why is it that you're not demanding, after you fucking bail them the fuck out on your first fucking day, that you bail these fucking big-ass banks out like Wells fucking Fargo, that they automatically move Black people to the front of the line? I'm waiting for somebody to tell me I'm wrong. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me I'm wrong. So why's the screen's font changing? I don't know. You know, haves and have-nots catch up if you want to. I'm rich, so that's not even a fucking issue. And the font isn't changing. What's happening is the screen is smaller because I'm on the screen. The font's not changing. This shit is in real fucking time. Like, let's not play that fucking game. And you can go to joebiden.com/Black America and read the shit yourself, right? A second phase set, 60 billion community banks, This is a good start, but more needs to be done. No shit, Joe. Provide African American entrepreneurs and other small business owners technical assistance. To help them apply for funding, as well as legal and accounting support to ensure their documentation, such as their financial records, tax filings, and other legal documents, are in correct order. The Trump administration and Congress should provide additional infusion of operating capital to these CDFIs and community-focused lenders to ensure all African-American entrepreneurs have access to the technical assistance and support they need. Reserve half of all the new PPP funds for small businesses with 50 employees or less. You know how many white-owned small businesses at 50 employees or less were automatically at the back of the line from day one? So the bigger, more connected aren't able to win the first-come, first-served race. While this will help the vast majority of small businesses, it should help target more funding to minority-owned businesses. So in other words, a rising tide lifts all boats. Given 98% of minority and women-owned businesses have fewer than 50 employees. See, minority and women-owned businesses, producing a weekly dashboard to show which small businesses are accessing loans. Such a dashboard would help drive better data collection on the beneficiaries of small business support related to COVID-19 epidemic, including in particular collecting data by gender and race, or the smallest businesses. Supporting African-American churches during the COVID crisis. Girl and fucking bye. Expand the African-American home ownership access to affordable, safe housing. The gap between homeship, nearly 1,000% median between white and African-American households, because home ownership is the most save and build wealth. The disparity in home ownership is a central driver for racial wealth gap, as President Biden will invest over $640 billion over 10 years, so every American has access to housing that is affordable, stable, safe, healthy, accessible, energy efficient, and resilient, located near good schools, and with a reasonable commute to their jobs. Here's my question, though. When you were in the White House for 8 fucking years, where the fuck was all this then? Because all of these stats were the same in 08 that they are right the fuck now, but can't nobody tell y'all shit. Corliss says most of the agenda is general, and we can ask for a sliver, flip that pie, and reward the people that built this shit. Minority and women owned. White fucking women. Listen, she says, relax. I'm trying to learn the way you're teaching. I can find this on my own. Peace. The fuck on. Like, that mean to me. Meanwhile, help families buy their first homes and build wealth, creating a new refundable, advanceable tax credit of $15,000, building off of a temporary tax credit expanded as part of the Recovery Act. This tax credit will be permanent and advanceable, meaning that the home buyers will receive tax credit when they make the purchase, instead of waiting to receive the assistance when they file the taxes the following year. Tackle racial bias that leads to homes and communities of color being accessed by appraisers below their fair value. Before we even get into that, can we talk about the fact that I don't fucking know? Can we fix redlining, which is still a thing in 2020? Housing in communities primarily composed of people of color, trick bag, valued at tens of thousands below majority white communities when all of the factors are the same, contributing to the racial wealth gap. Yeah, you're not going to change that system because, well, let's face it, you're not going to beat the developers. You're not going to beat the gentrifiers. It's not going to happen. Biden will establish a national standard for housing appraisals that ensures appraisals have adequate training and full appreciation for neighborhoods and do not hold implicit biases because of a lack of community understanding. Adequate training does not fix implicit bias. Implicit bias is a construct, and having a bias is a construct that's built into you from your fucking childhood. So you can't just all of a sudden just remove the fucking bias. Roll back Trump's policies, gutting fair lending and fair housing protections, strongly enforce fair credit reporting laws, and create a public credit reporting agency. Okay, this might be worth something. Being able to obtain a credit report is a critical step in home ownership. Biden has long been an advocate of eliminating discrimination for preservation of credit, including legislation, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, which prohibited creditors from discriminating against consumer applicants for credit. Then why don't you take the race off the application? Why don't we make it a government federal mandate that you can't ask somebody what their race is when they're applying for credit? They often contain errors, leave many credit invisible due to the sources used to generate a credit score, and they contribute to racial disparities widening the African American home ownership gap. Biden will create a new public credit reporting agency, Consumer Financial Bureau, to provide customers with a government option that seeks to minimize racial disparities. For example, by ensuring that the algorithms used for credit scoring don't have a discriminatory impact by accepting non-traditional sources of data like rental history and utility bills to establish credit. Why didn't you do that when you were already in the fucking White House? And they're not going to tell you you're going to have to probably repay that tax credit, but we could do this all day. Listen, the bottom line is I want to make sure we're going through all this, but I'm waiting for the tangibles. I don't see them. Local elected officials, the tools and resources they need to combat gentrification, and implement the Obama-Biden affirmatively furthering fair housing rule. Blah, you didn't do anything when you were in office. Hold financial institutions accountable for discriminatory practices in the housing market. You had Wells Fargo and all these people by the short and curlies, and you didn't do shit the first time. Do y'all see this trick bag? Like, I'm so utterly disgusted. It's the same thing. Housing regulations, increase access to affordable housing. Bullshit. Establish $100 billion affording housing to construct affordable housing. Ensure blah, 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 blah. Nothing about black people. Blah, 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 blah. Nothing about black people. Protect home owners during the COVID-19 crisis. Biden would also restrict the big bank's ability to abandon the African-American community by withdrawing from housing markets for all but the best off buyers. But you didn't impose any sanctions on the banks that have been discriminating against us since they were enslaving us, i.e. Wells Fargo. That's why the Wells Fargo CEO felt so comfortable saying there wasn't enough qualified black applicants in the pool. Yeah, that's funny. Do you understand? The typical white family holds 10 times the wealth. You've already said that. So if it's 171,000 compared to 17.6, Biden will equalize the tax benefits of defined contribution plans. So the current tax benefits for retiring savings are based on deferral, whereby savers get to exclude retirement from the tax and then pay taxes when they withdraw money from the account. The system provides upper income family with a much stronger tax break for saving and limited benefit for middle class and other workers with lower earnings. The Biden plan will equalize benefits across the income scale so that low and middle income workers will also get a tax break when they put money away for retirement. But wouldn't low and middle income workers put money away from retirement and still get a tax break regardless? How about you give them skills in order to build more wealth with things like giving them better credit, and miss me with you can add your rent as a factor for your credit unless you're going to weigh it as heavily as you weigh payment history. I don't fucking buy it, because if you want to do it, you'd have done it the first time. Remove penalties for caregivers who want to save for retirement. Girl, and buy. You're not going to do that shit. Biden will support informal caregivers, allowing them to make catch-up contributions into their retirement account, even if they're not earning income in a formal labor market. Okay. Give businesses tax breaks for starting a retirement plan and giving workers a chance to save at work. Okay. Yeah. lack access to a saving retirement plan at work. Most of them aren't educated about one, and most jobs aren't required to have one. So unless you're going to do that across the board, cool. But that doesn't really help because that's a retirement plan. A lot of us ain't even going to live to retirement age. And if you're going to have like in any statistician or any accountant worth their salt will tell you straight up and down that right now they're looking to expand the retirement age. It's going to be people working until they're 70. So what, they're going to spend their last 10 years of life finally living? That's not helping anybody. Social Security benefits, you don't even know if it's going to be Social Security. So raising payroll taxes for workers more than 400,000 the same invested communities that need it most. Congressman Clyburn's plan. Oh, okay. We know Joe. Fuck out of here. James Clyburn ain't doing shit. Create a White House strike force to partner with rural communities to help them access federal funds. This is a bunch of trick bag shit. There's nothing in here. Modernize infrastructures of communities that need the most. How about you just clean up the hood? How about you do that shit? Bring broadband to every American household. Why didn't you do it when you were in the White House? Okay, and now support African American workers, more inclusive middle class, private sector unions. How many black unions are there out here? Fight for equal pay? Yeah, okay, but what you're not telling people is when you fight for equal pay and you say, okay, we want to give everybody $15 an hour, then businesses will innovate, give one person $15 an hour and then fire everybody else and have artificial intelligence. I know I run an AI company, but continue to tell me about how that's going to help. Federally funded projects that protect workers, bullshit. Encourage diverse hiring and promotion practices. You're not going to do a situation. You see, innovative solutions like ban the box legislation. I'll spot you this one. Ban the box legislation basically means that you can't ask somebody what their race is, blah, blah, blah. But the second you see them for an interview, guess what's going to happen? Biden will restore the Obama Fair Pay and Safe Workplaces executive order, which Trump revoked. Yeah, executive orders don't do shit, really. Protect essential workers during a crisis. Yeah, because most of us are essential workers because we're always on the front lines. You ever notice? Go back and look at World War II. You see what I'm saying? Like, they always send us out on the front lines. That, like, okay, whoopity fucking do. You should be doing that anyway. Expand high quality education, tackle racial inequity. If the education is still teaching a bunch of bullshit that kids can't take into the real world, until such time as they're teaching kids how to balance a checkbook, until such time as they're teaching kids how to build business credit, until they teach kids sometimes how to be an entrepreneur. And if you understood the tax code, you would understand why it's important for every family to have a business. Improve teacher diversity. You're not going to pay somebody like me $30,000 a year and make me fucking happy. It's not going to happen. This is, Corliss just said it best. It's word salad. So I encourage you, because I can't, like, I'm getting sick to my stomach. I can't even fucking read no more. Like, and I tried to go tip the tail. I really did, but it's just such bullshit. And after a while, like, you begin to see the further down you go, there's nothing there. It's just a bunch of bullshit, and I'm sick and tired of people acting like it. Okay, wait, I see one more. This one looks good. Let's look at this one, y'all. This one says we're going to address the student debt crisis. Student debt crisis is disproportionate impact on African American. A typical bachelor's degree graduate has about $16,000 in debt, and compared to $23,400 for African American. According to a recent Brookings Institute study, African Americans graduating a 4-year degree are 5 times more likely to default on their student loans than white graduates. African American students are 3 times more likely to default on their student loans than white borrowers. The inequitable burden of student loan debt contributes to the stark racial wealth gap that exists in society. So, cancellation of a minimum of $10,000 in federal student loan debt. You're not going to cancel that debt. Fuck out of here. Forgiving all undergrad tuition, federal student debt from 2 and 4 years, public colleges, debt holders owing up to $125. This will also apply to individuals holding federal student loans for tuition from private HBCUs and MSIs. Forgiving student loan payments for individuals making $25,000 or less per year, capping loan payments at 5% of discretionary income for those making more. Fixing the public service loan forgiveness program, and forgiving $10,000 of undergraduate debt. If you buy a car for $25,000 and the car doesn't fucking run, Do you get the fucking car? Like, do you get the money back? No. There's a lemon law, but I mean, by the time you get through all that, you're still not able to drive A to B. My point is, if the education system was really helping people become educated, then there wouldn't be so many goddamn student loans. Make public and college universities tuition free for all students who have family incomes below 125,000. Weren't y'all supposed to be doing that when you were already in the office? Invest over 70 billion in HBCUs. I went to Temple University. I didn't go to a HBCU. My daughter goes to a HBCU, but shit, she's a senior. Y'all a little too late on the ball. Go ahead, baby. So, like, that's the thing that's killing me about this nonsense. It's always some trick baggery, and it's not adding up. So when you understand that, you'll understand why it's not helpful and why we're still having these issues. So, you know, you got to put yourself in a position where it absolutely makes sense. You know, if he puts that in place, I agree, it's a game changer, but I don't think that he will. And that is the problem. But y'all keep looking for things that aren't going to make sense. But, you know, again, what the hell do I know? I'm just some guy running his mouth on the internet. I don't actually, you know, dealing millions of dollars of business every single day. I don't know shit about a goddamn thing. I didn't pull myself up from homelessness. I don't know shit. So I'm just going to be this ain't shit Negro, not knowing shit, minding my black ass business in my home that's paid off and my loans that are paid off. But continue to believe that you're going to march your way to the polls and get justice. Continue to believe that the system is going to look out for you. Continue to believe that they're not going to catch you with your pants down. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't believe it. Y'all better start asking for some goddamn tangibles. Y'all better ask for them tangibles up front and immediately. Till next time, get out of your feelings and into your business. Peace.